The retired judge who will head the Grenfell Tower inquiry has faced angry residents and survivors in a 3-hour-long meeting. A video of the meeting shows the ex-judge saying he would find the facts as I see them from the evidence. Joe Delaney, of the Grenfell Action Group, told the BBC that Sir Martin Moore-Bick was not jeered or booed, but people were sceptical about him. He has already faced calls to step down just days after being appointed. Sir Martin said he had been invited to the meeting by the Lancaster West Residents Association. He described it afterwards as a very useful meeting. Mr. Delaney told BBC Radio 5 Live that Sir Martin wasn't jeered or booed, it was more scepticism. You could hear people sighing and tutting. It got a bit loud before the end. The man couldn't even control the crowd and hold them. I have heard public speakers who can shut up a stadium full of thousands of people. This man couldn't hold a room with 200 or so people. Local resident Melvin Akins, 30, said there was frustration, anger, and confusion in the meeting. People firmly believe that arrests should be made as a result of the outcome of all of this. If arrests are not made, people are going to feel justice may not be being done. And Jackie Haynes, who also attended the meeting, said, Sir Martin is trying to rush us so they can give us this document where the devil is in the detail and we will have 1 week to deal with it. Us residents who don't have their expertise, who don't have their professionalism and resources have had to fight. They are relying on us giving up, being tired and becoming overwhelmed. In a short video recorded at the meeting, Sir Martin tells those at the meeting, I can't do more than assure you that I know what it is to be impartial. I've been a judge for 20 years, and I give you my word that I will look into this matter to the very best of my ability and find the facts as I see them from the evidence. That's my job. That's my training, and that's what I intend to do. Now if I can't satisfy you because you have some preconception about me as a person, that's up to you. A consultation with residents to help define the scope of the inquiry is due to end next Friday, but some survivors are calling for a delay of up to 6 weeks so they can seek legal advice. However, government officials said Sir Martin was not currently minded to extend the consultation period. Kensington MP, Labour's Emma Dent-Coad, has said Sir Martin was a technocrat who lacked credibility with victims and should step down. But Prime Minister Theresa May said she believed it was important that the inquiry was judge-led, and said it would address the issues that the residents and victims of this terrible fire want to see addressed. Kensington and Chelsea Council Labour councillor Robert Atkinson called on Sir Martin to publish regular updates to residents to take them through the inquiry. Perhaps both sides need to understand the needs of the other side better, he told BBC News. The judge has got to learn to take heckling from upset people. I don't think judges are used to being shouted at, and the residents have got to understand that there are constraints on the timing on what the judiciary can do. Let's judge the judge by what he does in the next few weeks. Raju Bhatt, a lawyer who was a member of the Hillsborough Independent Panel, said Sir Martin needed advisors who understand the history behind Grenfell. He said these had to be people who can actually address the crying question, why did we, the public at large, allow these families to be put in the position that they find themselves in? Separately, cladding samples which failed safety tests in the wake of the fire will be subjected to further large-scale testing, including building a 30-foot-high 9m demonstration wall to subject to a severe fire. Urgent tests were ordered on cladding from about 600 towers blocks in England after the blaze, but after 190 samples out of 191 failed, more tests were requested. The tests will also assess how different types of aluminium composite material ACM panels behave with different types of insulation in a fire, the Department for Communities and Local Government DCLG said. 2 housing providers in Ecclesiastes and Salford, Greater Manchester have now suspended the removal of cladding on 20 high-rise blocks because of unclear advice from the government. But a spokesman from the DCLG said government advice was clear that after testing, landlords and fire services will take decisions on building safety. Elsewhere, Minister for London Greg Hands has called on Mayor Sadiq Khan to consider moving the Notting Hill Carnival following the fire. Mr. Hands tweeted, "The carnival is an important and symbolic community celebration in our capital's calendar. Clearly it must go ahead. However, we have to ask ourselves if it is appropriate to stage a carnival in the near proximity of a national disaster." Responding on Twitter, Mr. Khan wrote, "Notting Hill Carnival is a firm London tradition and incredibly important to the local community. It should not be moved." Get news from the BBC in your inbox, each weekday morning.